Hey, I'm Will, and I'm going to show you how to use the Figma plugin. This is going to help you reduce the number of meetings that you need, which helps you stay in flow as a designer. And also, it can often mean that the feedback comes back sooner because you don't have to wait for a meeting. You can often get feedback on the same day. And that means that you can get to the finished result a lot faster. I used to run a high growth startup, and I was just so frustrated by how often design would just overrun. And it really doesn't have to. So I really hope this plugin helps. Let's give you a quick tour and show you how it works. Okay, so you need to install the Opine Figma plugin. So if you search for plugins, just type in Opine. And then once you've installed it, I'm just going to run it. Okay. So let's put this over here. And there's two ways to use this. You can either share one piece of work, which is just this top option, or you can sync to Opine, which is for when you have a really big project you need to organize. So I'm just going to show you the first one. So let's share the work. What do I want to share? Okay, so I'm going to select this work here, and it pops up in the plugin, and I click Upload. Now I have the option of adding an intro. So this is a video screen recording, and it lets you walk through the work and explain it to whoever you're sending it to, so that when they come and watch the work, they can have it presented to them so they have an idea of what it's about. Now, I'm not going to do this now for the sake of time, but I really recommend it because it does reduce the number of meetings that you need. You can share the work and ask for specific bits of feedback. Okay, so now we've got the link, and this can be shared with anybody. Now, there's two other ways to share work. One that's quite quick is just to send an email straight from the plugin. So you can put their email in here, put a message, and then schedule reminders. So here we've got each weekday, every 2 weekdays, every 3 weekdays, depending on how fast your team wants to move. The other option is to send them a Slack notification. So you can connect Opine to Slack, and it'll just ping them with the link. But let's just do it traditionally with the link copy and paste mode. So I've copied that. And here in my emails, I'm just going to paste it. Now this could be to a manager or a client. Hey Joe, hope you've had a great week. Here are the latest designs. This includes a video walkthrough of the work. Please let me know any comments or feedback. There's the link. And then we can also set up a meeting if there's anything you'd like to discuss. But the reality is you need a lot fewer meetings because obviously they can just leave video feedback straight away. Now, the other thing is, this gives people everything they need to move the project forward without needing a meeting. So everything they need is in here. So let's hit send. Okay. And now you're done. You can actually move on to the next piece of work and continue to do other things in Figma as a designer, speak to users, the rest of your design process. You don't need to now wait for a meeting. What I'm going to do is show you what it looks like from the other side, from your client's perspective. So here in their inbox, they've received your email, and they can click into this, and immediately they see the work. And what's really important here is this is isolated just the work that we selected. So if you have a really big Figma file, that can be very confusing for reviewers. But this is just selecting the work that you want feedback on. So it's a lot easier for them just to jump in and know what you need feedback on. So here, they can move it around. It's very much like a Figma canvas, very similar. They can draw on it if they want to. They can leave comments, a bit like Figma. So make a filter. And the reason for this is it just keeps all the feedback in one place. You don't want comments in Figma and then video feedback elsewhere. But the flagship feature, the most important feature, is hitting record feedback. So they just hit this, select their screen, and then they can start recording. Hi, thanks for sharing the new app designs. I'd like to ask three things. Could you make the titles gray? Could you make the right side a bit less cluttered? And could you change this bottom left icon? I don't really like it. Okay, they can then send that feedback over to you. And you can see here it is popped up on the right as the video. This discussion allows you just to keep track of everything that's happened in terms of feedback. And it's really good for chatting back and forth because this is a real-time chat window. So if you do want to discuss this in real time, you can just do that down here and go back and forth. All right, so for them, that's a really easy process. That can only take, 2-3 minutes as opposed to typing out the message, which is often a lot harder. And this means they can squeeze it in around whatever else they're doing, and the feedback does come back a lot quicker. Now, just to complete this tour, I want to show you what it looks like from your side when you've received that feedback. So here I'm in the Opine desktop app, and I can see I've received some feedback. Now I can watch the feedback and I can see how they were using the product. I can read the transcripts, and also I've got a to-do list where I can add items, and here the AI has suggested a few items. So make the titles gray, make the right side less cluttered, change the bottom left icon. Cool, and I can just edit this if I want on the left screen. I can come back and tick these off after I'm done. And what's great about this is it makes it really easy as a designer to then just go and complete all the actions and know you've done it without having to watch what could be quite a long video if they've decided to talk to you for a while. Okay. So that is the end-to-end flow for sharing work. But I want to show you one other thing, and that's how to get feedback on a really large Figma design. So I'm going to use this website design, which is just 3 pages, as an example of how you can work on a larger project and organize that project using Opine. So I'm going to run the plugin again. This time I'm going to use the second option, sync to Opine. And what it does is it scans the page for everything you've got on here, and it'll find everything you have, whether it's 3 items or 40 items. Okay, I can see it's found all 3 items. I'm then going to create a new space for this project. So let's call this website project and make it a task board. And then I'm going to click sync. And you can see it's just exporting the work. And what's going to happen is this will give you your first versions uploaded to Opine. So let's go to the space. And we can see it's uploaded everything to this Kanban board where we can then move items into in progress. And if we ever want to go in, we can go in and get feedback on this using videos, using pen, using comments. We can also come back out to the top level just to see the overall progress of the work. Now, back in Figma, you'll be making adjustments all over this. So let's imagine you've made adjustments to these 2. I'm just going to add a big rectangle just to show how it works. At the end of the day, run the plugin again, click sync, and it's going to scan your page for changes. And look, it's found that there are new versions for these 2, and there's no changes on this other one. So we're going to upload those changes. All right, the changes have been updated. And so now if we go into this page, we can see the updated version. We can see version 2 up here. So if we want to go back, we can see what version 1 looked like, or stay on version 2. So what this allows you to do is organize a large project with many moving parts. And it's great if you're working inside a team, or if you're working in a startup, for example. You can assign work to people and let other people know when work is ready for review. And it's a much more organized workflow than having a giant, crazy Figma file when people aren't really sure what's ready for review and what isn't ready for review. So 2 ways to use Opine. I really hope you get a lot of value out of this plugin. It's free to get started, so please do install it and let us know what you think. Thanks.